2. Hey folks, how's it going? We're live, it's Friday. Do some Unity game dev. Just gotta turn my lights down. I always forget to turn the light down. It's always a bit bright on the face. There we go. Perfect lighting. So yeah, we'll continue with this Unity project for Revolt Overthrow. I thought I had it bug free, as in like not crashing. I gave it a test at the weekend, and unfortunately it was still crashing despite me changing stuff. So we're going to still be trying to fix the crashing issue. And I want to get the saving and loading part working. And so when you go to continue the saved game, it will load up and allow you to access the other levels. I think that's the two main parts really: the saving and loading, accessing levels you have already unlocked, and then not crashing. So if we can achieve at least one of those today, I'll be quite happy. Let's switch over to the main screen and we'll have a look what's going on. So it crashed on the usual place it crashes, which is at the end of the level. So I could try run through that. It might even be linked. It might be crashing on the saving part of it. It might be that. So let's have a look at the code. So we've got update progress. So I think we might focus on this. So when the level, so the trigger is still, is it going to be here? Game values. So game values is still the trigger. So yeah. Here's the main thing here. So all of this kind of hinges on setting stuff off when we actually hit the thresholds for completing the level. So every time we hit a square, it calls this. It increments the square hit value, and then this function here compares the two, and then gives you a true or false. Hey bot, how's it going? Junkie, hello. Hello indeed. Hope you're well. Good to see you. Hope you had a good week. Hope the internet holds out for you today. I'm quite well. How are you? Pretty good, pretty good. Glad it's a Friday. Not looking forward to next week. I am the only person in my department for a week. So we'll see how that goes. So we're going to savor this this moment prior to the potential chaos for next week. So I am content. I am happy right now. Oof, for a whole week, yes. I am the only person in IT for a whole week. Hopefully, nothing breaks. No one has any problems. But you know how technology is. So I'm just taking this moment between now and Monday morning to relax as much as possible. I only wish you the best for next week. Thank you, Paul. It might be perfectly fine, but it does worry me that the company has offices across England. So if there's a problem that can only be fixed by someone standing in that office, then I am going to be driving around a little. Because I usually manage the Midlands offices. We've only got 4 offices in the Midlands, so that's not too bad. And they're all within 30-minute drive. But we have a lot of offices on the south coast. Across, yes, we have a lot on the south coast of England, which my boss normally handles. Because he lives on the south coast, I live in the Midlands. We handle the offices that are close to us. But he is away for a week. My colleague in the south west of England is also off, and he handles the stuff in the southwest. Hope nothing breaks. Yes, fingers crossed. Yeah, I don't really want to drive all the way down to the southwest, because that's 5 hours driving to get to the southwest. It's 3 hours driving to get to the south coast. And if it's a case of unplugging something and plugging it back in, it's a long way to do that. But yeah, hopefully nothing breaks. So I'm enjoying the moment as it is now. We're gonna see how things go. But if it's something I can just literally tap a remote access into, bring up a like an engineer session. Yeah, 5 hours to reboot a PC would be crazy. I saw a funny video online the other week of there must be some kind of technician saying going to check the server that people on site assured me was switched on, and it's just him sort of walking to a taxi to an airport, in the airport, on the flight, landing, taxi from the airport to the office, walking through the office, and he turns the camera to the server and then hits the button and then turns around. But yeah, that's the dreaded kind of thing. Fortunately, most people in the business that would be near such things are switched on enough, to excuse the pun, to actually help out with that. So it's not going to be too bad. It's going to be something that's absurd, yeah. So I don't think it's going to be anything that bad. But I don't want to be complacent. I say most things I can just kind of tap stuff on a remote technician session and just fix stuff. Hey, Perfect Dev, how's it going? Hi. Hope you're doing well. But yeah, I usually sit at my desk and connect to the IP or user account that I need to assist with, and I can sort things out. How are you? I'm pretty good. It's been a pretty chill week, as I'm just saying to Bot. I'm not looking forward to next week. I'm the only IT support for the entire business for 5 days. So I'm enjoying this evening and the next 2 days before Monday, where it might all collapse. But we're doing good right now. Typically this time of year, it's not too bad. Not gonna lie, only for you, this week was very, very busy. Oh dear. Yeah, so sometimes, as long as you can rest now, as long as you can get some rest now after all that hard work. Well, we can only hope that you can remotely fix those problems. Yes. And most of them you can. Most of them you can. And so, I'd say at least 95% of problems can be fixed remotely, which I'm very thankful for. By the way, I just got off of Resident Evil 4 for the Wii. So I definitely need a stream not to get nightmares. Cool, I'm glad to... Hopefully we can help you unwind and kind of come down from the fear. My younger brother is playing through the Resident Evil series. I think he's up to... what did he get up to? 6? I think he's on 6 right now. But he's playing them back to back. But he's got as far as 6. So he's going to tell me how his experience with that. Yeah, everyone seems to be doing okay for the time being. I say, if we need to relax, kick back and just chill and lurk in the stream or have a chat, all is welcome here. Yeah, not going to be busy for a while. That's good. Yeah, you kind of want to de-stress for a moment. Resident Evil isn't really scary. It's just nightmare material. Yeah, they do a good job of just coming up with the most craziest kind of WTF moments in gaming. Although I've heard, as far as from my brother's assessments of the series, number 5 was a bit of a letdown, not so true to the series. So they're brilliant up to 4. 5 was that what? 6 apparently is that yeah, and then 7 they go, oh okay, yeah, this is Resident Evil again. I suppose they tried to do something new, something different. And you've made 4 games already. You go, what can we do that's slightly different for the 5th game in the series? You either stick to your formula when you're making a series of games. You go, okay, let's just make another game with exactly the same mechanics, slightly different setting, maybe different protagonist. But then how do you keep a game series fresh without it just being effectively a DLC? It's so tedious on the Wii controller, but they did a good job at getting it to work with the remote. I don't think I'll be playing anything else in the Resident Evil series because they cost money, yes. Yeah, so I'm thankful for Steam having a lot of the games that I need. It's nice to play on consoles, and I do have quite a few games on consoles. But I'll try and pick up cheaper games on Steam. I've got pretty much the entire Lego series at a discount on Steam. So the more recent ones I've paid full price, including Lego Batman. That was a lot. Lego Batman Deluxe Edition was £80. But it's going to be a game I enjoy, and certainly have enjoyed so far. Really enjoyed playing that on Wednesday, and thank you for everyone that came by to hang out on Wednesday. It's not my usual content, at least recently. If you go back a few years, it's I was playing Lego Star Wars: The Skywalker Saga for about a year, once a week. And I could do that with Lego Batman, but I don't want to take time away from all this kind of stuff. Technically, Resident Evil 4 Wii Edition is paid software, but you can't buy it anywhere, so might as well just download it from. Yeah. That's the thing, so I'm all for game preservation. I'd happily buy a lot of games, but if you're not offering it, or it's at an extortionate price for second hands, then that money's not going to the original developers anymore. So mad my internet making me miss much of the Lego Batman stream. Oh, sorry to hear, but I don't know what it was, and I do apologise for this. The last 10... I'd say the last 10 to 15 minutes of my stream on Wednesday was quite a low frame rate. I don't know whether my PC just couldn't handle streaming for 4.5 hours. Or there's something else going on, but the frame rate tanked on the stream. My PC was fine, I was playing it fine, but I was dropping frames on the broadcast like crazy. It's basically a PowerPoint slideshow towards the end of it. So someone in the chat, yeah, Jeffrey is saying it was lagging for him. And I could actually see it on my preview window on the side here. It was just going, okay, I'll finish this fight, I'll save it, and we'll call it there, because this is not fun for everyone to watch. While trying to get back as well, yeah. No, but next time, if I'm streaming Batman again, I won't do it for 4.5 hours. It's just, yeah, I wanted to get as much of that content in. Slideshow is how I play games. Oh dear. Yeah, you got like 1 or 2 frames per second. Yeah, it's not fun. It's not fun really. Debate progress. I wonder if this is the issue here. I'm gonna comment that out. We're gonna play a game. Play the game, see if it crashes without the saving part, and then I'll disable everything else and just see if it will only do the saving part. Because if it's crashing on saving, I'm gonna have to rework the save code. Fun fact, I made games on PowerPoint. I made a whole series. I think the 4th game is where it stopped. Oh wow. I have heard, but I think there's like a list of absurd game engines. People have made applications in Excel, for instance. Microsoft Excel. PowerPoint's certainly quite a weird one as well. Technically you can code in Word, but Word is just problematic, even to be used as intended. But it's quite fun to figure actually using PowerPoint as a game engine. I'm sorry I couldn't be there. I had a lot of work and literally stayed until 3 a.m. working. Oh no, perfect. That's okay. No, I do not expect anybody to turn up to a stream. But basically, anyone who turns up to any of my streams is a bonus for me. So even if I went live and no one turned up, I wouldn't be upset or mad at anyone. You have no obligation to be here. You have your own lives. But that does mean I appreciate every single time anyone turns up. It's funny because I never saw any of those vids back then. I just came up with the idea myself and I was playing around in PowerPoint. Nice. Yeah, I've not really it's one of the things I've not really considered myself until I saw that videos. But I've done a lot of coding in Excel because it was all I had access to at the time. So okay, what can I do with Excel? And I did some pretty interesting stuff with Excel using VB script. That's kind of pushed me on to do VB.NET and C#. So it was a good starting point for me at the time. I learned a lot of app coding. I obligated myself to be here every time. Well, that's on you, bot. But I do appreciate that. I think it was PowerPoint 2000 because the only PC I had was Windows XP. Ooh, classic. I was a fan of XP. XP was pretty cool. Also implemented VB script in PowerPoint games, but what did Dad mean to do in Excel? I had basically had like it's mainly kind of just calculation. I know Excel's kind of built for calculations, but I built a printing program where you kind of put in some values and it gives you a grid of printing labels. So you know when you get like sheets of labels on an A4 sheet, and you might have like 8 or 10 labels on the sheet. So people were actually handwriting these labels and said, well, just put in the things you want on the label into this Excel thing I built, and it'll print them. This is when we didn't actually have these days Word has built-in stuff to print. You just you can link up like mail merge into Word, and you can do all this stuff, but back then we didn't have access to that. Hey Robert, how's it going? Good to see you. Yo. Hope you're having a good Friday. Nice. Yeah, it really helped because I made it for my colleagues, because I saw my colleagues just sat there writing label after label after label. So I said, give us a little bit of time. I'll work out the dimensions of the sheet, because these were pre-printed labels with like little boxes on there. And they basically have to write in numbers into different boxes and then peel the label off and stick it on stuff. So I kind of did some calibration, found out where the boxes are on the label, and got it to print exactly where things are. It's a very useful tool for stuff. Unfortunately, because I left that, I moved departments, and somebody moved into that department and deleted it. And, oh, okay, well that's gone. I'm not going to remake it for you. How silly is your game? In concept, it was silly. It's become less silly over time. It's silly in the sense that I did it in a non-serious way. We are about to test it actually, so I can show you what we have going on. Cool. So it's a very basic concept. You have a building and you throw rocks at it. So we're going to test it out. I've had some bugs which we're trying to fix today. Wait, shall I watch your stream on my Wii? You can try. I know Wii's got a browser. I don't know how stable YouTube is though. But yeah, it was a very useful tool. It's just I was quite miffed when that manager took over the department and just deleted it. Let's take that sound off. So we have a trebuchet. We can rotate the trebuchet to a fixed. But it's funny. No, it's unfortunately not. It's not silly funny. It's silly is in kind of non-serious. But yeah, I have a project planned though, Robert. Will have kind of humour and pop references in it. It's kind of what I'm planning to do with it. This is my first game kind of thing. My baby's first game. So it's just okay. Basically grabbed a load of assets from a pack. This is like a medieval village asset pack. So okay, I've got a series of assets from a medieval pack. What can I do? Well, I have a trebuchet, I have buildings. I have rocks. Let's make a trebuchet throwing rocks at a building game. The trebuchet was a static thing, so I had to modify it in Blender and then create an animation of it throwing the rock. So it taught me a few things, which is what I intended this game to be. It's a learning tool for me to go, well, I want to learn how to do this. Let's do it in this game, and then I know for the future. There's a homebrew app called WeMC. You can watch YouTube vids on it. Don't know if you can watch streams. Ooh, that'll be interesting. I might disconnect because some networking stuff, which I'll explain. Okay. Well, good to give you. If it works, let us know. I do have a Wii in the other room. That's I've connected up for party games. I also have an Xbox 360 and a Kinect for the same reason. There's no point doing it. I don't have the room. I literally just have enough room to stand at my DJ stuff over there. I do not have enough room to play Wii or Kinect games that are active. It is a shame. So I would like to at some point do VR games in here, or at least VR games on a regular basis. I just don't have the space generally, unless there's no one else in the house that doesn't mind me taking space up while I play the games. Found a Just Dance Wii ROM, by the way. Oh, nice! Just Dance are one of the fun games. Okay, so we've played through to the end of that, and all our log stuff is coming back positive. So it's calculating medal, gets a time, says rewarded medal 2, which is a silver. Updating UI to say level complete. Collapse the castle, stop the timer. Castle has finished collapsing. And move on to the next level. Clear that log. So we'll play this level. I will cheat it slightly. Castle. But yeah, this game is basically me learning how to make a game with some kind of intent. I had no plan other than Trebuchet rock building. That was my entire design document for this game. And it's kind of grown considerably from that initial design concept. Do want to redo the trees. The tree animations purely through code, and I would like to make it an animation file and not a coded movement. Although if it is coded, I can probably give it a bit more of a unique movement or reactive movement. Because if the ball hits it from a certain side, you're going to want it to move in respective to where the rock or the ball hits it. At the moment, it just plays a series of code on a loop. It doesn't really seem reactive to what is actually happening. So if I get to calculate where on the model it gets hit, and then you can move in respect to where it is hit. Did I hit that one? Yeah, cool. Just that top corner. We got a gold medal for that one. So level complete. Level complete, marking is saved. Start the smoke. Play a sound effect. Calculate rewards. Get the time. Rewards. Medal 3, which is gold. Level marked as complete. Update the UI. Set castle to collapse. Stop the timer. There's only stopping the timer there. It should really stop the timer up here. So I might have to look at that. Maybe that's out of sequence slightly. I think the timer should stop right at the top here. Stream is loading on the Wii. Ooh. The anticipation. Can you watch YouTube streams on the Wii? Okay, but that's complete. Let's move on to the third level. Normally takes a while though. That's fair. I'm going to cheat it again. Castle. Just to save us some time. Now, I'm not confident in fully cheating the level, because I think that probably contributes to the crash issue. But if I mark 2 of the regions as complete, I only have to do 1 region. Now this completes, I'll isolate the saving feature. So it doesn't do any of the fancy stuff. It just saves it. What have we got left? Oh, we got the whole upper half. Oh, blimey, okay. We'll just finish this low a bit. Yeah, look, one just there. Also, Mr. Junkie, thanks for all the likes on Blue Sky. Last night I opened 19 notifications. Each one hugged Junkie that first. Thank you, so that's okay. Sorry for all the notifications. I was going, bot's gonna have a shit ton of these. But I just basically just went down like, oh, blimey, there's so many posts you've done I've not seen. But every time I open Blue Sky, I get bombarded with everyone else I'm following. I just don't get to see your posts. So I actually scrolled and scrolled and scrolled until I saw you. And well, okay, you're like 3 pages down. Clicked on your profile and just went through the lot. Hopefully that means my feed will now show me whenever you post more. To say, hey, I'm interested. Show me more of this. Okay, so that level completed. Same principle again. So it's possible it is the saving feature that's crashing it at this point. So we go to the next level, it goes back to level 1. So that appears to be okay. So we remove that. No, re-tab that again, thank you. So smoke is not pivotable. Neither is the sound effect. Castle is collapsing. That could be something. I should send the screenshot I posted last night in Discord. It's a long list of Blender assets which I need to make, but I'll do it after the stream. Discord will make stream. Oh yeah, no problem at all. I'll be interested to see what you've got on your list. Like when I finally get around to pushing forward with Moongate Mage, I will have to make a similar list, and I'll post that in Discord as well, and you guys can see what's on my plan to actually make. It'll probably make me realize how much I've actually got to do if I want to achieve the what I want to achieve, basically. Because at the moment I'm still kind of feeling my way around it and go, okay, like my initial gut feeling is that okay, I've likely bitten off more than I can chew here. But my optimism is that if I do this the right way, I think I can achieve this quite quickly. If I set out a few like a foundational set of assets that I can modify and reuse. So keeping things on a similar level, so I'm not having to build everything from scratch every time. I just posted the items so far. I need to make NPC cosmetics and furniture items, but it's 45 items excluding the things I've made already. Cool. That castle is collapsing. Now, I'd rather I want to make sure there's no there's nothing hinging on the castle collapsing. So if I do this, let's have a look. Yeah, so this is the castle collapsing thing. So I think this is reliance on it, unfortunately. We don't need the 3 in there because there was 3 stages to this, but we've only got the 1 stage now. So if it's marked as the castle, it says castle is collapsing, but it's more castle should collapse now. I just need to hit the flow state again. I can't wait for Revolt Overthrow to be overthrown. Get it? Yeah, I like that. Sue myself for making bad jokes anyway. Wish Revolt Overthrow could be finished so we can see something get made. Me too. Like, I know one of the biggest things indie devs can do is basically abandon projects they're working on because they have a new exciting idea that they want to work on instead. Now, I'm trying really hard to finish Revolt Overthrow because it's the right thing to do. I finish it, I put it out there, and I can say I have finished a game. And that is, you're guilty of that. Yeah, a lot of indie devs are guilty of that, and they never finish a game. They keep chasing, oh, I've got a new idea, I want to make another game, and they push that to a side, and they just have several unfinished games. And they don't do the boring bit, which is the debugging and the optimizing and the game testing and the feedback. All that stuff's not as fun as the coding and like playing stuff. So I've got to force my way through the boring part, so to speak, because I'm not adding features, I'm not adding cool stuff. I'm going, why is it not working? I need to add a few things and then I can move on. But once I've done that, I've done the full cycle. Well, the full cycle is release the game for people to download and play. But I think I'll probably put this on itch.io or something and say, okay, it's been released. Book closed. I can come back, I can add to it, but the game has been released. It is like, I don't know, you can call it version 0.9 or something. Then I can add more content to it and call it 0.1. Well, version 1. Revolt Overthrow is exciting to watch the dev because we sue people. Yes. I'm glad the stream's fun for people. It's not just staring at a guy trying to debug codes, because that doesn't sound interesting at all. But yeah, you're guilty of that. I think a lot of people are. Mr. Junkie, when I speak about making new game and Combinator isn't done, please talk to me about going with the right path for each figure. I will. I'll remind people that the cool new project, as enticing as it is, can wait. If it's cool and it's good enough, it will always be there. But yeah, we need to work out what is going on here. Well, I actually enjoy the debugging because I might be able to help, and helping's fun. Yeah, that's a cool way of looking at it. And yeah, a lot of people have helped with, like, hey, so why is it done this way? Or have you thought about trying it this way? Would this help it? And then quite a lot of time with code. I do this with my boss a lot. We'll have a video call. As I say, he works at the office in the south of England. So we'll have a video call. We'll share, as I am now, you kind of share the screen to each other and go, well, I'm looking at this. I've tried debugging it. I can't work out why this code doesn't work. There's no syntax errors. So the syntax is correct. Why doesn't this work? And you go, well, because you put a false rather than true. And you go, oh, I've been looking at this for like half an hour. I didn't notice I put the wrong boolean. And it happens. But someone else will look and go, well, hang on, that doesn't make sense. Good, bad news. I was able to load the previous streams. Vars, I'm now I'm trying to get the current stream again. Fingers crossed. Oh no. Yep, that's that drink gone. I honestly like people helping me more with code than something like LLM. Yeah. Shared human knowledge is unfortunately seems to be slowly dying off due to LLMs. And again, fortunately with my boss, he will ask an LLM and not get the answer he's looking for. He'll call me and within a minute he's got it. Because I understand what he's trying to do, and I know what I would do, and we come to a conclusion quite quickly. Now, before I used WeMCSS, which has thumbnail support, but now I'm back to the original WeMC, so hopefully it's better. Oh, okay. So I want to have a quick look what's going on here, because if I can optimize this a little, maybe this will help. I don't know. Might not solve the issue at hand, but at least be able to isolate it. Either way, be right back. I get a cup of coffee. Ooh, okay. I'll see you shortly, Bob. So we have a value here called X shift. Now X shift I think is set up here, yeah. So this is a little bit hacky in my mind, the way I've done this. So what I'm doing is, if it's the default, yes, it's almost 11 o'clock in the evening. Don't say anything about it. Some people function that way, so is not to be questioned. So I'm defaulting the value to 0.2. So it's basically saying if it's the default, then set it to minus the value. If not, set it to the default. So this kind of alternates the value of X shift back and forth, which in turn makes the castle shift 0.2 on the X axis left and right, so it kind of wobbles back and forth. Let's save that. So the shaking back and forth. We have sync rate. Sync rate is sync rate value times time dot delta time. Just wondering whether this could be extracted out, because shrink rate is a global, that is a global, that takes the globals, and that is something else. So I could make a little private thing down here. Private void. Shake castle. If we took that, because that's not in... So that's kind of an isolated bit of code. So that in its isolation works. So we can just do that. That'll go, okay. That'll shake it, move it one way, move it the other way, move it the other way. So that's just the shaking part. We have the Y. So where's the Y in all of this? So castle Y. Where does the Y get affected? Ah, here. Castle low. Oh, that's the sync rate. Okay, so that's basically this drops the castle while shifting it. So I could split this out. So it's literally, this is only handling the movement back and forth of the castle. And then have the sinking part as a separate piece. So that would shake it, and I can have a sinking part of the castle because the sync rate is attached to that. Is that going to overcomplicate things, or I could make a private void sync castle. And then we can get that, put it there, copy that, put it there. Now does this mean the Y value would be castle empty dot Y, transform castle empty dot game object dot transform dot Y. No, still nothing. Where's the Y gone? What's position, isn't it? Position. Castle empty dot because castle empty is a game object. Is it transform dot position? That's it. Dot Y. So wherever the Y position is, set it to that. Or, because translate moves the transform along by the X, Y axis. moves to transform. So this can just be 0 then. Don't need to worry about that. So this will only move it by the X. So that kind of simplifies that. So that's just basically saying shift it by the X. And likewise, we can say shift it by the Y. So we've got shake castle, sink castle. Oh yeah, actually had the bit I wanted there anyway. Now we can make ourselves a little function. So we could sink without shaking. So good thing with this now, I could comment this bit out and still have the castle sink. So that's not a problem there. Pop building, castle collapsing, false. So if it never actually achieves that, it should still do something anyway. So I could comment the whole thing out, and it would still should still work. We can find out. We don't set that value in the first place. Let's go to game values. So we comment that out. Just for peace of mind, comment that out again for now. It's a really good feeling when something just isn't working and you finally find out why and fix it and it works. It is finding a solution to a problem and go, ah, I understand it, it works, I'm happy. Right, so these are the 4 things that happen. Like, these are the 4 things that happen when you finish the level, other than the UI saying congratulations, you finished the level. But active things, those are 4 active things that happen. So disabling it means there's nothing active when you finish the level now. So we're just going to play level 1, complete it. None of the active things will happen, but it should, if I've built it correctly, just allow me to continue anyway. Right, we'll cheat half of this, and we'll do the other half properly. Yes, I'll save it. I'm back with a nice cup of coffee and bad news. Oh no. What's the bad news? Are you out of coffee? Being out of coffee is certainly bad news. Just there, oh, a little bit higher. Okay. Now the theory is when I hit the level complete status, it would look like it hangs for a moment, like as in the game doesn't do anything. But then the UI should come up and allow me to continue to the next level. Thankfully not that bad, that would be dire news. It's just like I thought, you can't watch a stream directly using the already back-end system for Wii MC. It won't work. There's a workaround, I don't ever want to do that. Okay, that's fair. It was an interesting experiment, I suppose, to go, is it possible? I love that people are experimenting with old consoles. And go, well, these are computers. What is the most we can get out of this old system? And with modern kind of understanding and technologies, you can do a lot of expanding. One thing I wouldn't mind doing is if you have a Nintendo GameCube and a Raspberry Pi Pico, you can bypass the GameCube BIOS with the Pico board, and basically turn it into a emulation machine. It's pretty cool. I mean, won't be that hard, but it means I have to take out the SD card, plug it back into the laptop. Lazy talk right now. We's like 200 centimeters away from me. Oh, no. Yeah, it's still an effort. It's not the perceived amount of effort. It's still an effort, and you just don't want to put that in right now, which is okay. Wish I had any SBC, but maybe in the future. Yeah, but I have a few that I've been experimenting with. And I really should try and make something, actually make something out of it. Similar idea to like game dev, that I have an idea, I start it, don't finish it, move on to the next one. So I'm guilty of that with hardware. I don't want to start doing it with dev. So we have got the UI come up. So I'm confident that it will work without the collapsing feature. So if we re-enable, I don't know why it does that. Visual Studio, get your act together. We now have one active component on game completion now, which is update progress. Yay, UI comes up. Yes. Yeah. That means I've not got anything spaghetti tied to that process. So it means all 4 active functions on level completion are independent and can work as and when. All I have to do is set up Wii MCSS Supersonic Edition to have a link to my PC's IP address, which is as simple as adding one line to an XML file. Then I need to use the YT DLP to stream the live stream to VLC, which I've done before. Oh, okay. So yeah, that does sound a little bit long-winded, but not too complex. Right, update progress. So all that's doing is setting a Boolean, and then we're reading that Boolean from here. So this is the game progress manager. So on every frame, it's checking that Boolean. It's not the way I would like to do it. I'd rather it be an event call, but the event calls were hard to debug. So we've switched back to this process. So it's checking the Boolean every frame. I'm sure that's got some kind of overhead to it. But if that Boolean is true, then we set the Boolean back to false, so we don't catch it on the next frame. And then we're running update level progress. So this might be the code that is causing me issue. But everything else seems to work confidently. PC becomes a man in the middle. VLC should stream locally and booting up the Wii, watching it on there. Okay. So rather than loading it directly from source, you encode it on your home network. I can do all the streaming with one command, by the way. Oh, that's pretty cool. So you basically have your own broadcast server rebroadcasting. Sorry in advance if it ain't Boolean break. Don't fix it. Yeah. Like I like the example that Undertale, I think it is. Undertale has one massive case statement for all the dialogue in the game, and it's certainly not the best way of doing it coding wise, but it works. You just make a call to the dialog function, pass a value, and the case statement goes that line and just outputs it. Thinking about it, it's not a bad way of doing it. All the dialogue in Undertale is a single case statement, and it just calls it and then returns the line of dialogue that's needed. I mean, I won't judge Undertale is a huge success. Yeah, like if you think the successful game like Undertale, as simple as it looks, it works. It's not probably not the best way of doing it, but a single case statement handling it means you just call that function of the case statement and you get your dialogue return. I'm assuming each dialogue has an ID number. Actually quite smart. Yeah, like it might be like, I want dialogue 123, pass 123 to the case statement function. 123 returns, I see you have defeated me this time. Kind of thing. I don't know everything in dialogue in Undertale. Easy to debug too. Yeah, you can test that very easily. That, I suppose you could do a similar thing with like a JSON file with a dialogue in it. I've not really looked into dialogue too much. It's something I need to research myself. But in my head, a single case statement for all the dialogue, it's not a bad idea. I say it works, but I'm sure there's better ideas. But that's an example that it works. It doesn't have too much of an overhead. Yes, there will be an overhead of it doing a check to see which part of the case statement needs to return, but it's going to be that minimal, I suppose. I would make a dialogue class which contains people's lines, and then have a dictionary when a function which returns that ID. Ooh, that makes sense. But yeah, I would certainly go down the class route. Like I would have objects and classes for dealing with the dialogue. Because the way I've tried to do it, because I haven't actually got any dialogue in Revolt Overthrow. I've tried. I spoke wrong. Okay. I've attempted to make a dialogue system in Revolt Overthrow, but I've made like a dialogue object that contains the actual audio file of the lines being spoken and the text line are kind of into one object, and then you call that object, it plays the audio of the line and then displays the text of the dialogue from that object. So the one ID calls the object, pulls the audio, plays it, pulls the text, displays it. So that's the way I kind of thought about doing it. Especially for like audio dialogue. If it's just purely on-screen text, you don't need the audio. A function which takes an ID and returns a dialogue. Yeah. You just want to do a quick lookup. You certainly don't want to be saving the dialogue in the code, so to speak. Obviously it's in the code, but you don't want it being specific, which means you can just go to the dialogue file, change the dialogue there. Or if you want to do localization for different languages, it's easy to swap out which dialogue you're pulling. If you have a flag as to what language it pulls. So it kind of makes it easier that way as well. Whereas I suspect Undertale will only be in English. Simple as return dialogue ID. Yeah. Yeah, effectively you want it to be as easy on the upper end of it. Like once you've written that dialogue function, you just want to, as you say, just call the function. You don't have to be sort of writing out anything specific. You just want a function that you've made that does the job. Now, I am going to, for peace of mind, comment the whole of this and then uncomment certain sections. Because I think this might be where we're sticking. I don't know. Might be, might not be. But yeah, I'm a believer of sort of breaking stuff down into smaller kind of modularized bits of functionality. And it might feel tedious when you're doing it. You go, why is this a function? Why is that a function? I only use it a couple of times. But it allows you to use it multiple times in different ways. And having a dialogue function means everything dialogue related is handled in the future. Now, what would be useful actually? While we're doing this, screw it, I'm doing the Wii stream thingy and still be listening to you. Okie dokie. Have fun with that bot. Okay. So this is my text file. My JSON file for the save, game save. So medals achieved. As there's 3 levels, it's 0, -1, -1. 0 means the level is unlocked. -1 means the level is locked. Well, anything 0 and above means it's unlocked. -1 means it's locked. 0 means there's no medals achieved. 1 means bronze. 2 means silver. 3 means gold. So depending on these values is how the medals have been achieved. So I've doubled the medal system as the level locking system. So effectively you have a null medal if levels unlocked. Hey MHL, hello Unity Junkie. How's it going? Good to see you. Hope you're having a good Friday. Yeah, we're still debugging. So we're looking at the save stuff now. So this is the JSON file for the saving stuff. Because we've got 3 levels. The best time for each level is 0.0, 0.0, 0.0. We're saving our sound volume here. Game is complete is false. Total in-game currency. I haven't actually implemented currency, but I've got a value for it. First time player, that's for tutorials and stuff. Hints used, that's just for scoring as hints and feedback. So all these values are saved in the JSON file there. So if it saves correctly, it will then update that. I'm good, just binged a 3.5 hour horror game playthrough. Ooh. What horror games were you playing? The Island of Dr. Monrose. Ooh. Sounds intriguing. So this won't save anything on this playthrough, but I want to be sure that it's fine doing the thing. And then we'll move on to uncommenting stuff. Yeah, what is the island about? Islands are quite naturally a good setting for anything horror or creepy, because you've automatically got the isolation element built into that. It's a Seussian cosmic horror game. Oh, interesting. Yeah, any horror game that kind of indicates your isolation from sort of safety is a an automatic chiller. I have no idea what that means. It's about the desire to create better people, but shifts towards stopping a god. Oh, kind of like yeah, the typical trope of man playing god, but in this case it is a god playing god, I suppose. Like a Bioshock. Bioshock is a good game for that. So what happens when men try to do unethical things to improve the human race, and you just end up fighting the results. Sushi means in the style of Dr. Seuss, cosmic horror is a fear of gods and cosmic level entities. Makes sense. Yeah, I had a feeling it was Dr. Seuss. Dr. Seuss has got some weird stuff anyway. Okay, so let's do that bit. We uncomment this bit, because that's not going to damage anything. So you'll get the level number and you'll get reward time length. Let's do an else here. So we just have a little note. And we'll play it again. It is a very long game too. Oh, a lot of horror games are quite short in that sense. It's hard to keep people's interest during a horror game. I tap out of horror games. I'm a bit of a wuss when it comes to horror. So as long as the story is intriguing enough, we go, okay, I want to stick with this for the story, but I am scared and I don't know what's going to jump out at me next. Now the Alien Isolation game. I love the Alien universe. I love the aliens. Not so much when they could jump out at me and kill me. But I want to see the game through at some point. So I just have to have the balls to finish that game. Yeah, it's hard to stretch suspense, and it's hard to keep a jump scare scary. Yeah, like you have to kind of give a player an expectation, take it away, give them something new, make them fear that, and then come back with the original expectation out of the blue. Because Dead Space did that a lot. Give you something to fear, take it away, give you something new, and then out of nowhere come back with the original fear and go, ah, I completely forgot about that thing. Nasty. By the way, I forgot to mention, MHL just reminded me, in Resident Evil, the creatures or zombies or whatever they are, sometimes when you kill them, their heads pop off and an alien parasite pops out. Ooh. That is nasty. Also, update the XML file, SD card back into the Wii. Nice. Yeah, I know it's because the primary story of Resident Evil was the T virus, wasn't it? Turning people into zombies. But then the later Resident Evils come up with a parasite element as well. I wasn't super scared by cosmic horror, mostly because I was raised Christian, but the feeling of helplessness still gets me. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, it's good to still have that that feeling from it. Updating level progress for level 1. That's what I wanted to see. Okay, so I'm happy with that. A sudden comment, something else. What should we do level 2? Yeah, let's try level 2, just to be on the safe side. Because it might be fine for level 1. Scenes, let's do level 2. Should have really continued on, but it didn't matter. But yeah, cosmic horror is quite a weird one, I suppose, because you have to have a certain fear of the unknown, I suppose, and so fear of things greater than you. The feeling of being small, I suppose. I was so sad because I helped a dog at the very start, and in a boss battle the dog came back to help me. He didn't die, but he didn't come with me. Oh, that's quite nice to think, okay, this, you helping that dog return the favour and came back. But it's always sad to see like a little animal companion not come with you. That companion's dying, that's even worse. That's super sad. I'm glad I didn't do that though. Largest fear are grotesque body horror and probably incineration, both of which are thankfully not allowed on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah, I'm fascinated by body horror because it's a very primal fear. Like everybody, it's kind of like built-in survival. Our own natural survival instinct is to prevent harm to ourselves, and experiencing that on the screen kind of triggers that off. Unless you've got slightly psychopathic sort of tendencies where you're quite happy seeing people being ripped to shreds from the inside. There's nothing wrong with that, as long as you don't intend to enact any of it. Yeah. Just need the one at the top. Oh, a little bit higher. Oh, too high. Now, I purposely made this slider throw the rock just too high. There we go. So you have to get it just before the maximum to actually hit it. So I feel I've got that slider down quite well. I wouldn't say I like it, but such things don't bother me. Don't understand how you can enjoy watching body horror. Yeah, there's people that like watching things like Saw and Hostel. We were discussing this on Wednesday, like gory movies where horrific things happen to people can be interesting to people to see, or it could be interesting because it makes you feel the fear of I do not want that to happen to me. Update level 2, so that works fine. Peace of mind. Let's do level 3. We know that part of the code is working fine for certain. On every level, it's working. And we can move on to the other bits. So long as it's not human, I'm not terribly afraid, but any sort of burning scares me, human or inhuman. Ooh. That's understandable. So again, that's a real fear that could happen to you. Like, so it's a genuine kind of thing that you don't want to happen to yourself, and you fear seeing that or being reminded that that is a thing. A lot of horror games and movies prey on people's natural fears. You have slightly lesser natural ones, but they're not as big a hits. Like people's fear of certain animals, for instance. There are movies and games built around people's fear of, say, like spiders or snakes or bears or dogs. But yeah, they all kind of prey on something we have a primal fear of. Anyway, on to happier topics. Yeah. Happier topics like the fact this game is currently working with the current code. So we'll go to the next stage, which will be this line of code. Oops. After sending that message, my internet stopped working. Hey. Oh, lovely jobby. So middle reward time. So let's see if that's fine. Yeah, I'm back just in time for the game to be working. Yeah, so we still have these lines of code here to test, but we're going to test this one. So this line here pulls the times. Basically, I have a set of a time you need to beat for a gold medal, a silver medal, and a bronze medal, and they're saved into this object called a medal container, and that medal container can pull the times based on an index. But it's very similar to that dialogue function you mentioned. But so I send an index, and it just gets me a list of times. So what will score you a gold, silver, or bronze? I got some bad news though. I swear every time I return I always have bad news. Oh no, but always turns out that anyway, it turns out that didn't work. I'm going to do a bit more research. Okay. It's an interesting project to try and watch me on the Wii. So yeah, keep going. Yeah, if anything didn't work, is a stream on the Wii. Yeah. Okay, so I'm assuming you are broadcasting it okay. It just wasn't, the stream itself just wasn't loading. So we pull the reward times. So that pulls the object with the times in it. So that has the times. The next line would be past those times. Get medal index. That might be the issue there. I'm not quite sure how that works. No, I can't even get the broadcast to work. Starting a stream from VLC in the Wii is uncharted territory. Ah, okay. Or was that the client? Sorry, not we. Right, we'll play through the level again. Is there any way of identifying? So a quick look what that returns. Can we identify what we're returning here? So it returns a medal reward time object. See our command line interface. Ah, yes. Yeah, I know. It's been a while since I've heard that as a an abbreviation. So this guess times the length. That's a range. So that's all that's doing is getting the length. Let's put a little debug into there as well. You put the log middle container more times returning middle container index. Yeah. Let's put that in there. Game values. Game values? No, it says in progress. Yeah, game progress. So that will tell me what's happening there. I just want to have a quick check what happens in the next stage. So get medal index. So what's that doing there? So that basically calculates if medal index is less than 0 or greater than 3. So that's hard coded, so I'll have to change that eventually. So basically, if it's out of range, that's just saying if it's out of range, return 0 as the index. While it is 0, that's supposed to be doing something. That while it's 0, something's supposed to happen. That could be our problem just here. We have a while loop. What did we say the other stream about while loops? Lost the SD card for a sec. Oh no. On your mouse pad. Yeah, is it a micro SD or like a standard SD? With a micro SD, those things could flow away with the wind. Well, while isn't good. I don't know what I intended to do here. Maybe while they're bad, yes. I don't know what I was intending to do if it's basically the index is out of range. Call the feds. This might be what's breaking it while they're detected. This might be what's been for the past few weeks. This while loop could have been my nemesis. So I'm going to comment that out because that's doing no one any benefit. So medal index, where does medal index, just out of interest, medal index is set to 0 to start with. Okay, so when we calculate the medal, we set it as 3, 2, 1 or 0. So it could be 0. So that I don't know why I've got a while loop in there. But I think that might have been our problem. It's a micro SD and adapter. Okay. Yeah, I think that seems to be the standard these days. I don't think do they even make standard SDs anymore? Or are they just micro SDs and adapters to fit standard SD slots? It makes sense manufacturing wise just to only make micro SDs now. Because I have like practically a drawer full of adapters. 100% while loops always made my engines hang. I don't know what that while loop is going to do. I can't see Unless I had an idea that changed it and never went back and deleted the while loop. But I think I might have cracked the problem then. I've forgotten where we are. Here. So let's guess the medal. And then record the medal. So that puts it into here. So what's that? Medal index to level index. So level medal achieved is an array, which we can see in here. So level medal achieved. So what we'll be doing is updating this array here. When we actually write it to the JSON file. So that's what that's doing there. That's updating that particular array. So let's put a debug in there just to debug recording medal level. Yeah. Copilot can be useful for some things. But I reckon it might have been Copilot that puts the while loop in there. More than likely it was me, but okay, I'm gonna save this and we're gonna run it. Also found out why I have to refresh the page sometimes after sending messages. It's just me, I forgot to stop streaming the live stream. Oh no. I made a cool little golfing game prototype. It's just a golf ball with some platforms. Nice, that's pretty cool. I like novelty golfing games. Like, I've never played real golf, and I have no intention of playing real golf. But any form of golf that isn't serious, I enjoy. Like, I've never played it, but I like the golfing with friends game as a concept of it, at least. That's just like crazy golf, mini golf, with outlandish kind of levels that you play with friends. It's a pretty cool concept. Prototypes are good, yeah. Once I'm happy with Revolt Overthrow, as in it works to a full capacity, no bugs, and everything is as I expect it, I'll kind of release it as a pre kind of, almost like a beta, I suppose. And then I'll start playing with some prototypes just to give me a break from it. Once people give me some feedback from the beta or the demo, I suppose it could be beta or demo. It's probably more of a demo at that point because it's fully functional. It just hasn't got all the content that it could have. So I suppose that's more a demo than a beta. Because beta's kind of unfinished. Whereas I suppose a demo is just limited content. So I suppose it'll be a demo. Once I release this as a demo, a fully functional demo. Yeah, I'll make some prototypes for a bit. And then I'll probably put some ideas together for what additional features and levels I would like to put into this. But that should be pretty quick to do. Because once the core features are working, adding features to that, as long as they don't affect the core features, then it should be pretty easy. I want to test the thing now. I want to see if the while loop was a bug or not. Yeah. But it's continuing on at the moment. So let's have a look at the logging down here. So to start the timer on level complete event, which isn't really much an event anymore. Progress, save the progress true. Level complete marked as not saved. Marking as saved. Flag is true. Updating level progress. Progress is now set to false. Updating for level 2. Medal container. Returning medal rewards for index 1. Getting medal index 2. Returning medal reward times for index 1. Medal index 2. Recording medal for level 1. Index 2. Oh yeah, so level 1, so it goes level 0, 1, 2. It gets the medal index 2, so 0, 1, 2, which is silver. So it then saves for level index 1 for medal index 2. Calculating the medal award. I think that should really happen before that. So we've already done this. What is that? Oh yeah, it probably has to pull that same data twice. So that's probably not very efficient. Because it 2 times it works out what the medal is. So I'll probably have to re-look at that at some point. Hey, Mega Burger, how's it going? Yo, did you hear OnePlus is ceasing operations in Europe? Oh, I didn't know. Like actually shutting down, they confirmed it. All the stuff is on sale right now. Peripherals are already sold out. Kind of sad, not gonna lie. Used to be the flagship killer back in the day. Oh. Yeah, it's a bit of a shame. It's always a shame when the gaming companies kind of cease to be. How's it going, Mega Burger? Apart from the bad news, good to see you again. Seen you lurking in recent streams, and I do appreciate that. Updating you. So I think that's okay. Go test the stream, so it might disconnect. Okay, bot. Good luck. Well, I'm going to then cheat part of this. Castle holder. Castle. Let's cheat that one. Cheat that one. And we'll manually do this one. But the fact there is a while loop on a potential failure, rather than fixing the failure, it in itself becomes a failure. So I think at this stage, it might pass a value that isn't in range, because this is the last level. So the value might be out of range for what the code is expecting. So moment of truth, hitting this. Okay, let's have a look what it does here. I'm convinced that the while loop was the problem. I am convinced as well, but I don't want to be 100% on it, because I might go, okay, that's the problem, it's all fixed now. But if I can find no other issue, now I've removed the while loop, I'll be pretty confident. So all this stuff is standard. Updating for level 3. Reward line, reward times for index 2. So again, level 3, which is index 2. Returning medal index 3, which is gold. So recording medal for level index 2, medal index 3. Calculating the award again. Getting it for index 2. So the fact it runs this again, I need to look at. But again, it's working, but it could be a problem later on. So it does that twice. Yeah, I need to probably make that more efficient, but it works. It works there. But it was crashing at this point. So let's stop that. Let's go back to here. Not there. It's Game Progress Manager. So those two lines of code work. Next section. So get the game value in seconds. And then record that. So get time in seconds. What's happening here? That literally just returns a float value in seconds. That can't crash anything, surely. So that just returns a float. Not a problem. Then record best time. So we take the level index and we take the float. Again, if best time is less than or equal to 0, as in there hasn't been a time set for this level yet, or the time being passed is less than the best time, as in we've beaten the time on record, then update the array for the level through the time. Finally, good news. Good news, everyone. The link shows up in WeMC. Now gonna start the stream, see if it works. Fingers crossed, bot. So again, that's literally just doing a check. Now we could do a little thing in here. So should we? That's going to be a. Yeah, we'll put that in there. Now we could do a float. That is a float, isn't it? That's a float. So let's go float. Current best time is best time level. So that gives us best time level. That means we can just check that directly here. Debug. Current best time for the level is that. New best time recorded. Okay. So we'll do that part of the stage now. Test it again. So the next stage will be the hints, and the stage after that will be actually writing into the JSON. I feel we're making progress here at least. We'll start from level 2 again. Level 1 is very rarely the problem. I'll tell you what, let's cheat it. Okay, no, it's happy with that. So what have we got here? So we're calling the time. Save times level index 1 medal 2. Recording best time. Recording best time for level 1, 13 seconds. Current best time is for level 1 is 0, or level index 1 is 0. New best time has been recorded for level index 1 for 13 seconds. Level complete, calculating reward again. Calculating for that, level complete. Okay, let's go next level. We'll cheat, should be able to cheat it confidently, because I reckon the cheating issue, or cheating created an issue where I think it got stuck in that while loop. Okay, it didn't crash. Okay. Recording has a new best time. Okay, that seems to be all happy there. Let's move on to the next bit. The hints. So get hints used in level. I think that just returns from game value. Yeah, it just returns an integer. Add hints used. Just takes an integer, adds it to the total hints integer. That's nothing crazy there. And resets hints used in level. That's literally set into 0. So I don't think anything in those two lines has a problem. That is just passing integers around. Barely a calculation. I think what could be an issue is this one here. Because this is now pulling JSON pulling the progress into a JSON and then writing that to the file. So I'm going to comment out the writing part. I'm going to put a debug in there. Do a build. Cool. Do that, and then the last line to uncomment will be the actual writing JSON. And if we're happy that's working, I'll uncomment everything else and do a full test run. What we're doing for time. Doing good for time. But the fact it's not crashing when I'm cheating now kind of suggests that we might have already fixed it on that. Let's give it a few more seconds before I cheat. So 15 seconds. Okay, there we go. So, calling best time 15 seconds, didn't beat my previous record of 13 seconds. Saving level progress to file, then moves on to the calculator. Okay, do next level. So this is pulling the JSON. Or creating the JSON. It's not saving it yet. But it's looking more and more promising. Just before, it did freeze the stream, and just like always, bad news since I'm back. Oh no. Just like before. Streaming doesn't work. You tried it. It would be interesting to try. And you gave it a go, but didn't quite work as you expected. That's all good. Delegating this to AI. Yeah, sometimes you need to outsource the thinking. Cool, I'm happy with that. So that's not crashing right now. Let's stop that. Last thing then is the actual writing to system. That's a built-in function, isn't it? So save. Final test on the saving part. So we will see this file here update with values here, if that works. So let's save the project. So I had this all working at one stage, but I don't know when that while loop made it in. But I did so many changes. It might have been in there for a while loop, but I didn't actually have a problematic value to trigger it. And then something happened that started putting in out of range values and it got trapped in there. There we go, rewards, updating UI. Okay, we go to the file. Yes, update file. Cool. Oh yeah, because we already had that in the files. Yep, that's saved to the JSON there. Okay. We'll just look at this one. Let's go castle holder, castle. Center. And the last one. Go back to here, been updated again. Okay. So we go back to main menu, go continue. All the levels are unlocked. We'll stop that there. Okay. Final check. Game progress. Okay, that was the line that I tried to do. That's actually the better line. Game values. Where's the bit I commented out earlier? Right, let's put everything back in. Save that. I'm going to reset the values. Let's go to objects, game values. Go game progress. There we go. -1, -1, 0, 0. So that's basically reset that. I do have a function for that, but it's just quick for me to type it in. Scenes, we go back to main menu. Let's do another save here. And then I'm going to highlight game progress. So that we should see this change if it loads it. Okay. Let's go play. Okay, so nothing there. Go continue. Continue loads the values from the JSON file. Shows me the levels that are unlocked. We'll go straight to level 2. Check the console. Yeah, so all the things doing that. Cool. Means we should be able to cheat this. Castle holder. Castle. And go that. Plays the sound, shakes the castle, plays the smoke. File's been updated. Okay, next level. Castle holder, castle. Okay, test looks pretty successful from where I'm sitting. Okay, just impatient. Oh, okay. Okay, so the file's been updated, yes. Castle. Cool. We go to here. Go yes. Update the file. Cool. Shows the times. I think that's a successful test as far as fixing what we had issues with. It loads the data, displays the correct levels in the level select, doesn't crash. We may have fixed it. I'll have to do more extensive kind of stuff. Just realised I've only been focusing on work and didn't really. That's okay, Perfect Dev. Anyone who joins the stream is more than welcome to just sit and listen to me yabber on. I'm happy to be background stuff. The fact you've even clicked on the stream makes me very happy. So very thankful for that. So don't ever feel that you have to be chatting to be part of the stream. But how's your work? How's the stuff you've been working on? How's that been going? Now there is some feedback. What was the feedback? Let's go back and have a look at the feedback. Great, no problems at all. Awesome. Go back through. It's been so long since I had that initial feedback and I've been stuck. And I reckon it's been this wild this entire time. Oh, 11 o'clock. Okay, so Cobbler gave me some feedback. Give me some initial feedback in September. So we've been working on stuff since September. This is now May. So that's not very good progress. But that was the initial demo I put out. My more recent demo had problems with a few things. I have to look back to see what you said about the initial problems with the demo. Hidden controls, I think I've done that. Hint issue, projectile hits a wall, the player clicks hints, damage does not register. I think that's not a problem there. Hint usage cost. So I've done a thing with the hints in the game. So you can't use a hint until a certain percentage of the wall's been destroyed. So you can only use a hint in the final 30%, maybe 20%. So you can't just be hitting hints all the time. Because I want it to be accessible. Like, I don't want the hints to be a privilege. I want people to be able to finish the level, not go, I'm stuck. So it's supposed to be a pretty laid back experience, rather than kind of sticking it behind a currency. Tree collision, unique sound effects when projectiles. Yeah, so I've done that. Projectile unlock costs. So yeah, so Cobbler was suggesting when you want to unlock the projectiles. So projectiles are different projectiles. I'm gonna have to look at how they work, make sure that's fine. And he's recommend the little dotted guide should disappear after the first 3 shots, so you kind of have to calibrate your own idea where it's aiming. I'll have to think about that, see how. It's basically accessibility versus challenge. I want people to be able to play the game without being too challenged, but people want to challenge. Maybe you could put it as an option, so you can have it permanently switched on versus automatically disappear. So those kind of things I want to be optional stuff, I would say. What else do you say? So yeah, hiding the controls, so that hides them. Through shot bonus, extra points, projectile through holes. So yeah, that's so implementing a point system. So Cobbler recommended a points system, and then you can use those points to buy things. Bank shot bonus points, impact, sound effect variety. So we need to. So when the rock hits the wall, I only have one sound effect, which I just vary the pitch to kind of make it a bit different. But I've got a system built into this where I can have 4 or 5 audio files, and it basically randomly selects one each time. I just haven't got. I've got the same audio file listed in all the banks, so it randomly selects the same file basically. So I just need to find some other audio files of rocks hitting stuff. Damage display, show the amount of damage dealt. The damage is 1. Every block has HP of 1, and it does 1 HP damage. So that's not really useful. Catapult sound effect didn't really work. Maybe the whoosh. Maybe a whoosh sound as a catapult comes over, like when you fire, it goes whoosh of some kind. But that's not really much to add there. So generally speaking, sound effects and a points system I can take away from Cobbler's feedback from originally. What has other people said? Oh yeah, Bot, you mentioned back in March. Didn't play all the levels, stopped on level 2 because controls are broken. A&D works on level 1, but yeah, I fixed the controls. There's still a bit of a thing I need to do with the controls, but certainly on controller, I want to be able to have like all the buttons on the side to be mapped to the controller. So if you're using a game controller, you don't have to click on the screen and use a game controller. It should be all game controller or mouse and keyboard. So I still need to do that. Can't continue level 2 after going to main menu. I think options menu should pause time. Oh yeah, I still need to pause the. When you open menus, I want it to pause. I still need to do that. One of my non-geometric dash videos, non-geometry dash videos hit over 600 views. Usually only get around 200-300. Nice. Congratulations, that's a good amount of views. Like 200 is a good amount of views anyway. Oh, well done, Image. Yeah, I need to be making more content sort of to try and get those kind of views. I think options menu should pause. Should be able to open when I press escape. So again, that's key mapping I need to look at. Creating barrel unlocked automatically. Yeah, let's have a game progress. It's not in game progress, is it? It is. Yeah, there's my dialogue. Dialogue object I mentioned earlier. Test dialogue 1. So this has the text, hello, this is a test. And the audio, which is NPC test 1. And then I put the ID of the character that uses the dialogue. So I've got 0 at the moment. But if a character has like NPC Bob, for instance, might be ID 123. I'll put ID 123, and then Bob can look up all of his lines and go, I just want a line for Bob. Ideally, this needs to have a unique ID as well as Bob's ID, but I was still developing that. Have amazing news! Oh, good news, everyone. What's the good news, Bob? That's the number object. Oh, projectiles, is it in here? There we go. Yes, that's everything's not unlocked there, so that's fine. Okay, I think I solved all of the things that you mentioned in my Discord in March, but it's something the key mapping I need to do. Key mapping, and is it just that? Key mapping is left. Oh, and timer. Stopping the timer when you open the menu. So I'm going to have to rework the way the timer works so I can start it. And then map the key. So I'll do that first before I release another demo. That'll probably be something for next week. Am I available next week? I think next week I'm not available. So next week there might not be. Just double check. Yeah, next Friday I won't be streaming, I'm afraid, folks. But the Friday after that, I will be streaming. But the Friday after that, I won't be streaming. But I'll keep you all updated. What's the good news? Keep needing to refresh page. Oh no. You're keeping us in suspense. But for the first time I have amazing news. What's the amazing news? I saw a singular frame of Live Junkie on the Wii. First pictures. Awesome. Oh, that's pretty cool. I'm live on the Wii. I like that. That's a fun idea, that is. We're breaking new ground here. Yeah, so next I might do it off stream. If I do it off stream, then I'll put the demo out in the meantime. But the next time I stream Unity, I'll implement the stuff you mentioned, bot, for improving it. If we're a bit more patient, I probably could have seen more, but it's possible. That's got me so hyped. It gives you hopefully that gives you motivation to kind of see how you can improve it, I suppose. But yeah, I'm gonna, let's go to full camera. Yeah, I'm gonna wrap the stream up there because we've made good progress today, and all it took was taking out a while loop. So yeah, so the next time I work on this, I'll implement the mapping of the controls, and try and get it to pause the timer. So pausing the timer would be interesting, because at the moment the way the timer works currently is it takes your computer's clock and then sees how many seconds have elapsed since it recorded when your clock was. So it's not really much, you can't really pause it in that method because it's still counting from the time you started the level, not adding onto it. While emote, yeah. We just need a while with a big X for it. So yeah, I'll need to rework the way the timer works. So rather than taking a stamp of the time the level starts and then counting how many seconds since the level started, it needs to be incremental of how many seconds have passed while it's running, not as opposed to, yeah. So that's easy enough to check. Oh, soup. Have a great rest of your day. Thank you, Perfect Dev. Good night, Mr. Live on the Wii in 2026. I enjoyed today's stream, even though I was preoccupied. That's cool. Everyone's a bit preoccupied today, doing your own thing, and that's all cool with me. Good night, Super Chat. Good night, all. Thank you all for being here. I say I'll get those things. The game works. It works. We just need to improve it now. So we'll do the improvements, and I'll put a demo out, and you guys can play that. And then I'll give Revolt over for a rest for a little bit. We'll do some looking at other stuff. Then we'll come back and then add content. We won't sort of do too many mechanical things, but we'll just add content to it. Soup. Thank you all. I'm going to have a rest now. Hope you do too. Have a good weekend. Game works now. I'll see you if I haven't improved it. Yeah, have a good weekend. I'll be back on Monday with Jeffrey and Lisa playing Trine 5. So until then, I hope you have a good night, have a good weekend, and I'll also see you next week. Good night all.